again, and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today, I have a little disclaimer to start, maybe two disclaimers. One, I think this video might be a little bit long, which brings me to two. Part of the reason why it's going to be longer than normal is, and I apologize, maybe I'm not my normal, jovial, energetic, smiling self today. I'm in a little bit of a bad mood to start today. Because I just got, it's not some bad news, but I'll tell the story. I'll try to make it very brief. 3 months ago, over 3 months ago, maybe in early January, the door to my apartment broke. There are 3 hinges on the door. And this is kind of an old house, and the doors are made of iron or something. And not the hinge, but there's a weld that holds the hinge to the door. 2 of the hinges broke. I assumed the middle one had broken long ago, but I hadn't noticed. And then one day in early or mid-January, as I said, I opened my door and it went, the whole door just kind of shifted. It was barely holding on by the top hinge. So I guess at that point, the bottom one had broken. And so the second one and third one were broken. They didn't obviously break at the same time. But if the middle one was broken, it wouldn't have affected it. So my door for 3 months has been cockeyed and askew, and you have to go like this to get in and out, like that. And if you're one of my friends or one of my people who comes to my house who's not slim, you have a hard time getting through my door. For 3 months that's been happening, and when this happened 3 months ago, I told my landlord, and she said, "That's your fault. You broke the door." I really hate my landlord. She's the classic landlord. Everybody complains about their landlord and their mother-in-law. And I don't have a mother-in-law, but I'll complain about my landlord. So she said that's my fault because it's my responsibility to maintain the door. And she said I should have oiled it. Now, this is before she even saw what happened. I didn't send a picture or anything. I just said the hinge broke. So she says I should have oiled it. And it wasn't the actual hinge that broke, it's the weld of the hinge. Oil wouldn't have done anything. So she said, that's your fault. You have to find a guy to fix it. You have to pay for it. And I said, no, that's not going to happen. And so we kind of went back and forth, and I kept telling her, are you going to fix this door? Are you going to fix this door? No, you got to fix it. And then so finally a couple of weeks ago, she said, yeah, okay, I'll fix it. And then last week, it was a holiday here in Mexico, and she said, yeah, I'm trying to find a guy, but it's hard to find a person during this week because it's a holiday. Just crap. And then today I was out and I got a call from Lily, my ex-wife, and she said, where are you? And I said, I'm out. She said, you're not home? I said, no. She said, oh, because there's a guy there to fix your door. He's waiting to go in and fix your door. My landlord never said a word. The last time she said anything was about a week and a half ago. Yeah, I'm trying to find somebody, but I can't find anybody. And now today, she just sends a guy. It doesn't tell me that he's coming today at all. Never mind telling me a time. And so now I don't know what's going to happen with the door. And she said, but when he comes back, maybe it's going to be tomorrow. Who knows when it's going to be. I have to pay for it, and she will reimburse me. And I don't trust her to reimburse me. So, and that was just shortly before I started doing this. So that put me in a very, very foul mood. And I've been in a foul mood about that since January. Change is coming. I'll say that. So, all right, enough about that. So today, and another reason why this is going to be a long one, I'm going to talk about the Who by numbers. I've been on a Who kick. Speaking of January, I'm trying to put on a smiley face now. I got the Who with Orchestra album, the 3 triple album, gatefold, beautiful packaging for an unbelievable price. And since then, I've really, really been into Who mode. And I especially have been into this, the Who by numbers, and partially spurred by the fact that one of the songs on here, Imagine a Man, was on the Who with Orchestra. That was the first time I ever played it live. So when I didn't know it was the first time, when I saw the track listing of the Who with Orchestra, I said, wow, they played Imagine a Man. That's unbelievable. And so I wanted to buy it. So I also found Who by numbers for a reasonable price, and it's new. And I believe this is the first record that I've ever bought that has no, it's not. No, it's the first episode I've done that has an Obi strip. I bought one it's sitting right here in my pile about a year and a half ago with an Obi strip that I still haven't got to. That will be coming. So this is what I'm going to talk about today. Now, also, as I'm recording this today, this garbage with the Who just happened the other day, a couple days ago, in real time. They've got this drummer. They've had this drummer since 1996 called Zach Starkey. He's Ringo Starr's son. He's been with the Who forever. And so they played a show, every year. I don't know if it's every year, but occasionally they do these Teenage Cancer Trust shows that Roger Daltrey, I think, was the curator of that, or he was on the board or something. So he got the Who to do those shows at Royal Albert Hall for the Teenage Cancer Trust every once in a while. And I think they always do 2 nights. So this was maybe late March, early April, something like that. And I checked the set list the day after the shows. I saw that they played, what song was it from Who's Next? Song Is Over. I thought, man, Song Is Over. They haven't played that for years. I thought they had never played it. When I saw it on Setlist FM, it said they had played it. I guess the last time was in 2004. So I thought, oh, that's incredible. So I went on the YouTube and I typed in, this indicates typing, or maybe it was on my phone. No, it wouldn't be on my phone. It was on my giant big screen TV here. And I put the Who, Song Is Over, live at Royal Albert Hall, and I saw it. And they started the song, and I think they got maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes into it. And then Roger Daltrey, and you may have heard this, what happened. Roger Daltrey, and this was not a big deal. The Who has a lot of, problems like this, and everybody has technical problems, especially as they get older. And so after a minute and a half, 2 minutes, Roger Daltrey said, okay, stop the song. He said, I can't hear anything. He said the drums are too loud. That's all I can hear. I guess there's something wrong with his in-ear monitor. If you're in the industry, you'll call it an IEM, but I'm not in the industry, so I have to say the full word, in-ear monitor. And now he said, to me, it didn't seem angry and it didn't seem malicious, or he didn't really seem particularly mad. He was just saying, you know what, I got to sing this song in the right key. And in order to do that, I have to hear the band, and all I can hear is the drums. Now, I don't know if he meant he can hear the drums behind him, or if he could hear the drums in his in-ear monitor. So they restarted the song, and it was the last song of the night, and that was it. And I thought, okay, that's cool to hear that song again. And then maybe 2 weeks later, which at this point for me was less than a week ago, it was in the news that they fired Zach Starkey. The Who parted ways with Zach Starkey, and Zach had said, shit, and I have something over here. I'm going to continue to talk, and I have to talk loud lest I not be heard. I charged my old phone for this, and then I forgot to take it in my hand and show it to you, but I assure you I am still here. So I've got the quote here from, okay. Let me put that down for a second. So that was so bad. I should have just cut it. Whatever. So they said I think they made a statement to the Guardian newspaper or something that we parted ways. We wish him nothing but the best. The usual crap. And they said that Zach is out because he overplayed or it was too loud or something like that. Now, before I continue, I saw many comments, and I've said many times, it's always a big mistake when you read the comment section, maybe including in my videos. And there's very little to learn in the comment section. Sometimes you find some really good information and some worthy opinion, but not you. You're all good. You can leave comments down below. So I saw many comments, including on social media from my friends, some strangers. The overwhelming sentiment was something along the lines of, what a joke it was, that the Who, first of all, pointing out that Roger Daltrey sang, "Hope I Die Before I Get Old." He sang that in 1965 or something, and I guess they think that's still supposed to apply today in 2025, 60 years later. And the other one was that, the Who, the former loudest band in the world, and now it's too loud for them. I guess basically thinking that's hypocritical for Roger Daltrey to complain about something being too loud. And then the other one was not as common, but saying, yeah, this is a band that played with the this is a band that had Keith Moon as a drummer who overplayed everything, and now they're saying Zach Starkey overplays. And again, it's stupid. You're going to compare Zach Starkey to Keith Moon, who died 40, when did he die? 78 or 79? 47, 48 years ago. Anyway, that's all silly. So I just thought, wow, there must have been something more to the story. There's no way they would have fired him just because of that incident. I was thinking, this is my speculation, maybe, and also I thought that's not really Zach's fault. And I'm not supporting nor defending Pete and Roger nor Zach Starkey. I'm just saying how I see it. And I don't blame Roger if he couldn't hear. I believe him. And as I said, he wasn't really particularly angry, although he is a very angry guy and very, he and Pete, two old, miserable guys still after all these years. So I thought, all right, if it's too loud, it's not Zach's fault. They had played the whole concert. This is the last song of the night, as I said. And I don't know how he could be overplaying. So I wondered if this had been building for some time and it came to a head. People love to say that. It came to a head. Or maybe they, it ended up being a big argument that they, said something to Zach after the show and it got really heated. And Zach maybe crossed the line and stepped up to his bosses and they fired him. I didn't know. So I thought, man, that's really, really shitty of Pete and Roger to fire the guy after 29 years, I guess, or something that on the surface seemed very minor. And then a few days later, which was now, I think 2 days ago, is at the time that I'm recording this, The Who, it was actually Pete Townsend. I saw this on his Instagram. It was on Saturday when I was going to El Chopo. You might have watched my El Chopo video. For me, it was the other day. For you, it was maybe a week or a week and a half ago. So Pete said, there have been some communication issues, personal and private on all sides, that needed to be dealt with, and these have been aired happily. Roger and I would, now this is where it gets really bad. This is a classic Pete Townsend apology. He apologizes, but he also, does this to Zach publicly. Roger and I would like Zach to tighten up his latest evolved drumming style to accommodate our non-orchestral lineup, and he has readily agreed. So that's a kind of a shitty thing to say, although I'll give Pete credit for being honest instead of saying the normal, musical differences, and then you're left to wonder. This was cool that Pete said this, I take responsibility for some of the confusion. Our Teenage Cancer Trust shows at the Royal Albert Hall were a little tricky for me. I thought that 4.5 weeks would be enough time to recover completely from having a complete knee replacement. Why did I ever think I could land on my knees? Wrong! Maybe we didn't put enough time into sound checks, giving us problems on stage. So this is good that he says this. He's kind of saying, yeah, that's maybe all of us. That's not really Zach. The sound in the center of the stage is always the most difficult to work with. Roger did nothing wrong, but fiddle with his in-ear monitors. Zach made a few mistakes, and he has apologized, albeit with a rubber duck drummer. I'm not sure what that means. We are a family. This blew up very quickly and got too much oxygen. It's over. We move forward now with optimism and fire in our bellies. And then he goes on for a few. This was April 19th that Pete posted that. Now, which brings me to my I have a prop today. I got this book a long time ago. This Amazing Journey. This is not the autobiography that Pete Townsend got in some trouble for it. Maybe not enough trouble. But this was a biography by a guy called Mark Ian Wilkerson. And I got this way, way back on January 21st, 2006. When I still lived in Canada, before I even had plans to move to Mexico. I guess I knew it was that old, but I didn't realize it. And yeah, there are some things in here, some stories about Pete. I think everybody knows what Pete is like. He's very cranky, curmudgeon-y, angry. I think I talked about this before when I saw them. The one time that I saw them live in 2015 or 2016, they played in Mexico City, and they played Join Together. And at the end of the song, Pete said something, he went on the mic and he said, "Good singing, Mexico City, but most of you were singing the wrong words. it's joined together with the band. And I thought, man, what a dick thing to say, to correct an audience, especially an audience whose native language is not your native language, Pete. And I don't know what the crowd was singing, but I don't know if they were singing joined together. I have no idea, but Pete corrected them on their singing. And that's kind of how he is. He's an outspoken, grumpy old man. Very cantankerous. There's another one. Curmudgeon-y, cantankerous, cranky, all the C words. There's one that I don't think I would go that far. But so this apology from Pete, if you call it an apology, is pretty classic Pete Townsend. All right. So now that that's out of the way, and also I thought maybe they fired Zach because they thought, you know what, we're pretty much at the end of our career as a band anyway. We're maybe not going to play anymore. Let's just. I was expecting maybe this was going to be the last show that the whoever did, and I was also thinking maybe they fired him because they want to move on and continue touring and maybe even do a new record. Although Rogers said he has no interest in doing a new record, sadly. Anyway, so there's that. So today I'm going to talk about the Who by Numbers. I will start by saying I can't say enough how much I love this album. Really, really, really close to being my favorite Who album. It's possible, depending on which way I look at it. I could say this is my favorite Who album. I like it that it's, man. You know what? There's a bus. There's a bus base. The city bus. The base is right outside my house. The street is their base. And I just saw the driver, and I see this every 2 months or so. He's parked there. His arm came out the window, and he just dropped his garbage on the floor, on the street, right in front of my house. I've seen that regularly, and I've confronted these guys about it maybe 3 or 4 times. I go and I pick up the garbage, and I throw it back in their window. A couple of times, they scream at me. They really like take offense to that. There was at least one guy. No, 2. One guy actually apologized. He said, "Oh, I don't know." Another guy, I remember maybe the funniest reaction was, "God, this is terrible. This is meandering." I did it to one guy. I said, "Es tuyo." I said, like, "This is yours. Oh, you dropped this," like as a joke. And he said, like as if like you forgot your phone at a restaurant, and they say, "Hey, you forgot your phone." Okay, I forgot my phone. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize I dropped it." Oh, okay, thanks. Anyway, yeah, so now there's more garbage in front of my house because this guy just dropped it out his window. Am I ever going to get to this album? I almost just feel like saying fuck this and giving up. Really, I'm not in the best mood today. Hopefully, if I talk about this album, I will feel better. But yeah, this is very, very close to being my favorite album. The thing I love about it, it's very, very straightforward. It's 10 songs. I think the longest one is, I don't know if there's anything more than 5 minutes on this. There's no filler. And my definition of filler is not songs that I don't like or that you don't like. Filler to me is, maybe there's one song that's filler, which is actually my favorite song on the album. Maybe even definitely my favorite Who song is on this album. And some of my other top favorites are on this one. But there's no interludes or spoken word pieces or covers or anything like that. It's just 10 great songs. I love all 10 songs on this. Every single one is great. All right, and I guess I can get to it now. And I guess getting back to this to the book. Now, I read this almost 20 years ago, but I do remember. I don't know if it was in this book or just in other things, interviews or a thing. And this is a big book. It's like 600 pages. 641 pages. So I don't know if it was in this book or elsewhere in other interviews, but Pete has talked about this album. I think he doesn't really like Who by Numbers. I think at this point he was kind of burned out and he didn't really have too much material. And there's really nothing on this album. As much as I love it, there's really only, I guess, one song that's kind of remained, and I think even that one, and you probably know what it is, that's remained a staple. There's so many staples from Who's Next and other staples. There's one on this, and I don't even know if they do this song anymore. I don't know if they've done it for a long time. But anyway, I think I will get to the track by track now. The actual album and track by track are going to be much shorter than what I've spewed out thus far. Now this is tough to open. This has got no opening whatsoever. It's very, very tightly wound, just like I am today. So I will just do it like this. All right, and I got to be careful of the obi strip. I've got to keep that valuable obi strip that everybody loves. And I do have this on CD. Oh, I should have got the CD out. I have all the Who albums on CD. I would like to get them all on vinyl. I don't think that's going to happen. And for what it's worth, this is made in Germany. I guess press. What is with like albums now? This says, and I guess this is a new thing. This stereo record can be played on mono reproducers, provided either a compatible or stereo cartridge wired for mono is fitted. Recent equipment, this is in the small print, recent equipment may already be fitted with a suitable cartridge. If in doubt, consult, and then it's blocked by the obi strip, so I'll open this to continue this this announcement. Do you remember when you used to just buy a record and you just listen to it when you didn't need to read any special instructions or anything? All right, so, all right, and here's the obi strip. There it is. It says mastered by John Astley at Close to the Edge, half-speed vinyl masters, cut by Miles Scholl. I don't know who any of these people are. Abbey Road Studios, half-speed mastering. This record was cut using a specialist technique known as half-speed mastering. This is like Angus beef or I don't know, something like that. It's all bullshit. This artisan process results in cuts that have superior high-frequency response, parentheses, treble, and very solid and stable stereo images. In short, a very high-quality master that helps to create a very high-quality record. And the back of the obi strip is just the track list. All right, so continue this. Oh, this has a nice texture to it. I like the way it feels. It's matte. It's not glossy, and it feels. Oh yeah. If in doubt, consult your dealer. What dealer? I'm supposed to consult the maker of my turntable that I bought 3 years ago. Anyway, so there it is. There's the back. I love this album cover too. It's very kind of playful. I think suitable for this record. Another thing about this record, before I get to the track by track, it is very kind of upbeat. The Who had some kind of and I don't mind this actually. I really like some. They had some kind of down songs. I think especially on a little bit on Who's Next. No, maybe one on Who's Next. Tommy, Quadrophenia. Those albums were a little bit serious. This, and there's one song in particular that musically is very, very happy and upbeat and everything, but the lyrics are kind of down. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to guess there's nothing inside. I know the CD, I remember had nothing, no lyrics, no pictures, nothing. And I got Who's Next on vinyl a couple of years ago, 2 years ago maybe, and I think that also had nothing. So I think this is going to be the same. I think I'm going to be disappointed. Yeah, absolutely nothing. Plain white sleeve on Polydor Records. Very, very disappointing. I take it back. Wait, there is something inside. If I can open this. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so happy. It has an actual certificate from Miles, what's the guy's name? Miles Scholl. Ridiculous. Give me lyrics, give me a picture. I don't really care about a mastering certificate. And I'll read this. Half-speed mastering certificate. And it's got a nice font, an elegant font, so you know it's serious. Abbey Road's world-renowned engineers have been cutting grooves into discs since the studios first opened their doors in 1931. This record was pressed from a master cut using a precision technique known as half-speed mastering. The procedure requires the source master and the cutting lathe to run at half speed on a specially adapted Newman VMS 80 lathe. Those are the best lathes that money can buy. That's my opinion. It doesn't say that in the certificate. This rare and specialized technique transforms difficult to cut high-end frequencies into relatively easy to cut mid-range frequencies. The result is a cut with excellent high-frequency response and very solid and stable stereo images. I don't know what that means. In short, half-speed mastering produces a master of the highest quality that enables the pressing plant to produce a superlative record. Miles Scholl, mastering engineer, Abbey Road Studios. And there's the stamp of approval. Wow, isn't that something? Couldn't care less. I will keep it, but I really don't care. And I'll put that over there, and I'll just hold this up. So, and I debated using or writing notes for this record. I'm very familiar with it, as I've said before. Sometimes the records that I like the most, or that I'm the most familiar with, they're the hardest because I have so many things, little tiny details, because I'm so familiar with them with each song that I would maybe like to talk about, and then I forget. But yeah, so I didn't write notes, so I'll just do this off the top of my head. The first song is Slip Kid with that great drum or percussive intro with the cowbell, and then it's an 8 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I love the guitar in this song. Actually, on this album, Pete Townsend, he's one of my favorite guitarists. He's not a Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, Dimebag, metal kind of guy, but Pete Townsend, as a guitarist and I guess in his role as The Who, is one of my favorite, maybe it's better to say favorite musicians, but I love that, the opening of Slip Kid. I got my clipboard, pencils, got my clipboard, textbooks. Lead me to the station. What is it? What God? How am I forgetting? I got my clipboard, textbooks. Lead me to the station. Yeah, I'm off to the Civil War. Love that song. And then there's a great part in the middle. It gets kind of quiet, and then it comes back in. I think a metal band could do a great cover of Slip Kid. At that, the part where it kind of comes back in a little bit. It's not heavy, but a little bit more aggressive and hard. It reminds me a tiny bit of a song by 9 Inch Nails, which I can't remember. I think it's Broken, or it's on the, what is that EP? That's like the Red and Yellow Fire. Was it not Sin? I know it's all going away and it comes to me, it's no surprise. Whatever that song is by 9 Inch Nails. When Slip Kid comes back in, when he repeats the first, I got my clipboard, textbooks, lead me to the station, yeah, I'm off to the Civil War. Slip Kid. Realization, there's no easy way to be free. It's a hard world. And that part, it's a hard world, reminds me of, there's so many things that were brought to mind from this that I can't quite picture where they're from. That part that Pete sings, it's a hard world, after the first chorus before the second verse, totally reminds me of some Broadway musical. I don't know what it is, if it's West Side Story or one of those, but it's a hard world. Totally reminds me of that. Next is However Much I Booze. This is the one that I mentioned earlier. What am I at? About 28 minutes already? However Much I Booze is one that I referenced earlier that's, lyrically, it's kind of dark and serious, but musically it's very happy and kind of a... It's kind of happy, jovial, good time sounding. Pete sings this one. But lyrically, it's about, I guess, Pete's struggles with booze, obviously, and he talks about being drenched in brandy, and I guess also about his just struggle. At this point, he was, I don't know how old he was, I guess around 29, 30, 31, around there, and I think he was starting to kind of question himself if he should still be continuing as a rock and roll musician at in the twilight of his years when he was 30 years old, so I guess he was struggling with that. But However Much I Booze, really love that song. I love songs that Pete Townsend sings. That's I see myself on TV. I'm a faker, a paper clown. It's clear to all my friends that I habitually lie. I just bring them down. I claim one of my favorite lines. I claim proneness to exaggeration. But the truth lies in my frustration. The children of the night, they'll pass me by. I love However Much I Booze. Great song. But not as good as the next song, which is Squeezebox. Oh my God, Squeezebox. One of my, I don't have an official Who or any band, like top 5, 10 songs, whatever. But if I did, Squeezebox would be very, very high up there. There are a couple of songs on this record that I could say that about. Maybe I don't know if it's the most fun Who song. It's one of the most fun Who songs. Maybe I don't even know if it's the most fun song on this album. There's one coming up that's maybe even more fun than Squeezebox. Love that song. That was one of the very early Who songs that I knew when I was probably 10 years old, somewhere around there. Loved it. It was probably my favorite at the time, and it's remained. I think over time I kind of forgot about it, but in the last maybe 10 or 15 years or so, I have kind of rediscovered. I think, man, Squeezebox is fucking awesome. It's so like I said, just so fun. God, how does that one start? Mama's got a squeezebox she wears on her chest, and when Daddy comes home, he never gets no rest. Because she's playing all night and the music's all right. And maybe the best thing about this song, and I can't believe I would ever say this, and I don't know if I would ever say it again, I love the banjo in the song. There's a banjo solo in Squeezebox. I like that solo as much as anything, any electric guitar solo, any rock, metal, wailing, shredding solo. The solo on Squeezebox is outstanding. Now, you may remember, and I kind of forgotten about this over the years, Poison did a cover of Squeezebox in the early 2000s maybe. I thought it sucked. I heard it at the time, and I thought this is garbage. And I think I hadn't heard it in all these years, and I listened to it earlier today, and it's not as bad as I thought. It's worse. It's fucking garbage. I think it sounds terrible. It's really, really bad. It's like they took Talk Dirty to Me and then just like a mix of Talk Dirty to Me plus Squeezebox. For me, very, very inappropriate or unsuitable. They just don't capture the spirit of the song. But I will give, and I'm not hating on Poison, I don't really have a problem with them. I'll give them credit that they did change it. They didn't just do a straight up, it starts with electric guitar instead of acoustic guitar, which makes it feel kind of lighter and more fun. So I do like that they, at least they tried a little bit something different instead of a straight up cover, but I don't like it at all. And also Bret Michaels introduces, and Talk Dirty to Me, CC, pick up that guitar and talk to me. He says something along those lines in this cover of Squeezebox. Don't like it at all, but I love the Who's version of Squeezebox. Major, major Who song for me. Next is, what comes after that? Dreaming from the Waist. Yes, Dreaming from the Waist is next. What can I say about this one? This one reminds me of, especially in the intro, it's got kind of the same vibe, the guitar as Pinball Wizard, and a few other elements of the song also brought to mind Pinball Wizard. Doesn't sound like it, but I am reminded of Pinball Wizard, and that's another great one too. It's maybe my least favorite, but by definition, if you have favorites, no matter if you love them all, you have to have a least favorite. And Dreaming from the Waist is maybe my least favorite, although I still love it. As I said, every song on this album is great. Next is Imagine a Man. Am I getting these right? Yeah, Imagine a Man is next. This is, God, there are like 5 songs. Half this record, I could say this is number 1, this is number 1 for my favorite. There is a clear number 1, so maybe they're all vying for the number 2 spot on my coveted list of favorite songs on this album. Imagine a Man, this is the darkest song. Lyrically and musically, it's a little bit more serious than everything else. This also has the same vibe as Behind Blue Eyes on Who's Next. Similar with Dreaming from the Waist kind of being in the same mold as Pinball Wizard. Doesn't sound like it, but it's got that same kind of, there's like a little bit of an anger to it or some underlying negativity to it or something. I love it. Possibly my second favorite on this one. And my favorite line from Imagine events that occur every day, like a shooting or raping or simple act of deceit. That's a great line. Pete Townsend wrote amazing lyrics. Maybe someone overlooked. You never really hear people talk about Pete Townsend as a songwriter lyrically. They maybe talk about him as a musician or as a songwriter, but I think Pete Townsend wrote amazing lyrics. Next would be side 2, and it opens with another one that's possibly my second favorite song, and that's Success Story. This is, I think, even more fun than Squeezebox, if that's possible. It's just a great, great fun song. It always, whenever I hear the song, I always imagine the scene in The Kids Are Alright where John Entwistle he's got all his gold, and I guess in the UK they have silver records too, gold and silver and platinum records on his wall. And I think that was his real house, his mansion, and he's got guitars all over his house. And he's taking all the record awards off his, they're all framed and plaqued and mounted. He's taking them off his wall. He puts them under his arm. He goes down the stairs. All his guitars and basses are hanging. I don't know if they did that just for the Kids Are Alright documentary, or if his house is really like that. And he's kind of feeling them and touching them and caressing them like he has a personal attachment to them as he's walking down the stairs. He goes outside and he's got a shotgun or a rifle or some kind of firearm. And somebody is off camera throwing the records up in the air, and Entwistle's trying to fire them. And then he takes a machine gun or a Tommy gun, fully loaded Tommy gun, and he's shooting them down. Success Story always reminds me of that. When I hear it, I can always picture that. And what a this is a John Entwistle song, very fun song musically and lyrically. Friday night, I'm on my way home. They ought to make work a crime. I'm home for the weekend. I'm going to make the most of my time. There's a rock and roll singer. Am I getting these out of order? There's a rock and roll singer on the television. Can't remember, but oh my God, Success Story. And then John Entwistle sing, and it's Roger Daltrey. John Entwistle wrote it, but Roger Daltrey sings it. Entwistle sings the middle part there, which is what does he say? I'm going to quit my day job to become a heartthrob. I think Roger Daltrey sings that part. What's the line that John Entwistle sings in Success Story? Well, and then there's like a voice, I can't do the voice, but like a kind of like a sinister voice. It's the manager saying, "I'm your ferry manager. You shall play at Carnegie Hall." Anyway, Success Story. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Next is... What's next? They're All in Love, right? Yes, They're All in Love. Love this one too. This is kind of a real, hoisting your beer in the air and saying they are all in love. And there's a funny line in this one, and I don't know what it is. It's in the first line of the second verse. Where do you fit in magazine? What is it? Where do you fit in magazine? I don't know what that raspberry is supposed to represent. If they didn't want to say the name of the magazine, maybe they thought they were going to get sued. I don't know. I have no idea why Roger blows that raspberry. Where do you fit in magazine? Where the past is something and the future you're a queen. Love. They're All in Love. Very kind of nice, fun, light. Just a nice song. Next is, this is my favorite Who song. It's not just my favorite Who song. My favorite song on this album is my favorite Who song. I don't have an official list of my favorite songs ever. I've heard God knows how many thousands, and everybody has thousands, tens of thousands of songs. So it's hard to pick one single favorite. But Blue, Red, and Gray is on the list of the very short ones, even to the point where I have the lyrics, or some of the lyrics, tattooed on my arm that I got 3 or 4 years ago. I like every minute of the day. This song has, I guess, kind of some, it's not like too deep. I was going to say like some personal meaning to me. And I feel like this song, this sounds very dramatic. I feel like that song, like they're singing to me. And before I get a little bit more into that, you know what? A little story about this tattoo. I asked, this is stupid, but and you never know what's gonna happen. I asked Pete Townsend if he could write this line, "I like every minute of the day." I asked if he could write it and scan it and send it to me, and I was gonna get Pete Townsend's actual writing tattooed on me. I never heard back from him, but he did read it, or I don't know if I sent it on Facebook. This was like 4 years ago, something like that. I sent him a message on Facebook to his Facebook, not the Who, but Pete's Facebook page, and it did show as being read. I doubt that it's him that runs that page. I think he does run his own Instagram, but not his own Facebook. But I thought, why not ask? You never know. People love to say stranger things have happened. Well, nothing strange this time. He blew me off, or his people blew me off. So I got this, and this is my ex-wife who wrote this, and I got it tattooed. So blue, red, and gray. Some people seem so obsessed with the morning, get up early just to watch the sunrise. Some people like it more when there's fire in the sky, worship the sun when it's high. Some people go for those sultry evenings, sipping cocktails in the blue, red, and gray. But I like every minute of the day. I like every second I can laugh in the snow and rain. I get a buzz from being cold and wet. The pleasure seems to balance out the pain. And I think I'm getting these out of order. The pleasure seems to balance out the pain. And it's just ukulele. Pete's playing the ukulele, and John Entwistle is playing the French horn. I know a crowd who only live after midnight. Their faces always seem so pale. And then there's friends of mine who must have sunlight. They say a suntan never fails. I'm just a man who works the night shift. I was lucky to get a job and some pay, but I like every minute of the day. I dig every second, so long as you're on my mind. Every moment has its special charm. It's all right when you're around, rain or shine. And so you see that I'm completely crazy. I've even shown the south of France. Some people on the hill, they say I'm lazy, but when they sleep, I sing and dance. Some people go for those sultry evenings, sipping cocktails in the blue, red, and gray. But I like every minute of the day. I never listened to that song once. And I listened to this might be the song that I listened to most in the last 5 years for sure. Maybe even in the last 20 years. Maybe 20, 22, 23 years. I don't know if there are too many songs I've listened to more from beginning to end, because it's short. It's only 2.5 minutes, so it's very easy to listen to. And once is not enough. I always need to listen to it twice. Actually, when I listened to it today, I think I listened to it about 4 or 5 times before I continued on to the next song. Very, very, very important song in my life. And I love it with all my heart. And then the next song is, now I'm all distracted by the greatness of blue, red, and gray. The next song is, are we around the 40-minute mark so far? What's next? There's 2 left. In a hand or face. Oh, how many friends? How many friends have I really got? In a hand or face is the last one. How many friends is the next one. How many friends have you can count them on one hand. Again, kind of a sad song. Lyrically, musically, it sounds very nice, but musically it's kind of dark. And I think Pearl Jam or Eddie Vedder maybe stole a line from this. On Pearl Jam has a song on Backspacer called "Just Breathe," and one of the opening lines is "I'm a lucky man to count on both hands the ones I love." And I wonder if because he's a major Who fan, he's lifted many things from the Who, including Blue, Red, and Gray. They had a song called "Soon Forget." Pearl Jam did on binaural. I just did Dark Matter Pearl Jam in the last episode, and there's a song on there called "Soon Forget," which is just Eddie Vedder playing his ukulele. And he, on the liner notes, he says thanks to Pete Townsend. It's clearly he stole Blue, Red, and Gray. Didn't steal it. It was like a tribute. So the line in how many friends have I really got? You can count them on one hand. And also there's something. What's the line in this? That's I guess this is where Pete's sexuality maybe comes into play. There's the line that one of the opening lines is about wow, God, I always blow this. He's talking about a guy getting him a drink, getting him brandy. Maybe he's something, or maybe he's after my ass, something like that. But I really like this song too. How many friends? A lot of. And then the last song is "In a Hand or Face." This is maybe the most traditional, kind of hard rocking, bombastic Who song. I think would have fit perfectly on Who's Next. It's got a little bit of vibe of maybe like something like I don't know, like "Won't Get Fooled Again," something like that. It's very short. I think it's only 3.5 minutes. Are the times on here? No. But yeah, "In a Hand or Face," and it's got a little kind of a drum breakdown in the middle or towards the end or something. "In a Hand or Face," Love that song. So there it is. Oh my God, this is a long one. But I do feel better. I guess I vented and got that off my mind. And I did make it through this. Oh my God, I really, and by the way, John Entwistle made this drawing for the cover of Who by Numbers. Can't say enough how much I love this album. As I said, possibly my favorite Who album. Maybe I'll get into that further in the not too distant future. All right, so there it is. Great album. It's the Who by Numbers.